Fake cards is the topic of conversation today. Something that's plagued the card market for a long time. People printing fake cards of the actual high value cards and then trying to sell them for a profit can leave a lot of buyers high and dry and out a lot of money. So I wanted to discuss a few of those. I see it often on eBay. It's not uncommon to see a fake Steph Curry or a fake Mike Trout actually posted on there as real. And I find even some what I would consider collectors who should know better actually posting cards that are fake. So I want to give you a few pointers to look out for if you're buying ungraded. Obviously, the way to avoid this is to buy graded cards because the graders are skilled and knowledgeable in how to identify fakes for the most part. You always, I guess, could have a few that slip through the cracks, but some things that can help alleviate any issues, especially if you're buying through eBay. First and foremost, look at the members' credibility through their feedback. Obviously, if the more they sell, the more credible they likely are. Also, look at their return policy, and that can save you some headaches. If you get a card and you feel that it could be a fake, you can always return it and get your money back. eBay will protect you there. The other thing is that's helped me get an eyepiece, and you can actually get a closer look at the card. A lot of times you can tell just by looking with the naked eye, but this has definitely helped me a few times. There are some pretty skilled craftsmen out there who have made some very high quality reprints, fake reprints, I should say. So remember, there's reprint cards and then there's fakes. The manufacturer will, in many cases, years later, do a reprint version of a card, and it can look very similar to the actual rookie card of a player. They've done this with Mike Trout. Topps has quite a few times, but all the manufacturers are they do that, and you'll see it from time to time. But they'll clearly state on the card whether or not it's a reprint or not. And many of those reprints still carry a lot of value. But the ones I'm looking at today are the fakes, the ones that someone's printing out on cardstock and trying to take advantage of you and your money. So first one here, this Michael Jordan reprint. I'll start off by saying if you find a Jordan that is perfectly centered, that should be your first indicator that there may be something fishy going on here. Not to say that these cards don't come perfectly centered, but they're very rare. There's usually something off about them, and this one is very well centered, as you can see. So with these ones, it can be very hard to tell sometimes, and you really need to know what you're looking for. So this card, I'll pull it up here close. I could tell right off the bat, it's a reprint, and the pixelation on this card is very clear. You don't even need an eyepiece to see it. As you look at up around the 132 there and around the flare sign, you can see clear pixelation like it came off a printer. You put it under the eyepiece, you can really see it pop. But these cards, the print on them are much clearer than that on the real thing. And some things to look out for. There are a number of different indicators on this card, but one, they always say look at the arrow here next to Premier. That should be an orange color that's offset from the yellow in the background of the Premier. And this one actually looks slightly offset, so that wouldn't really be an indicator for me on this particular card if the pixelation was not the case. You flip it over, some other things they tell you to look for, the eyes of the bull. But with printers today, you can actually see the pupils on these eyes here. There's also some reprints, fakes. You'll see the decimal merged in with the number here under the average column. But another dead giveaway on this is not only the coloring, but also down here you see the copyright symbol cut off down here at the bottom, and that's not the case on the real card. It actually hangs down over that pink. So just a few things to point out on this card. It's amazing with these Jordans how many people actually say that they find them in yard sales, and lo and behold, I found a box of cards, and right in the middle of it was a Michael Jordan rookie. And I don't know if it's fake or not, but it's for you to decide at a cost of, $500 or $1,000. Don't get caught with this gimmick. Look at if they're selling cards, there's a very high likelihood that they know whether or not it's fake. And also, if I got a potential real Jordan card, it's going to take a real cheapskate to not want to at least send this into a grader to get it graded. Worst case scenario, you spend $20 and it comes back, not a real card, but it's much more valuable if it is a real card. So just be aware of that. It's very rare that you're going to pull down an ungraded Jordan online and have it be the real thing. So the people who print these fake cards are obviously targeting the high value cards, and both Steph Curry and Mike Trout are certainly rising in value very rapidly. So this Trout here is the reprint that I bought on eBay, and this one was listed as a reprint. And you can see right off the bat, there's no silver coloring in the tops, so it's a straight print job. Also, no silver coloring down here around the name or around the Angels logo. So this is the real deal here, and you see a stark difference in the picture quality of this card. You see the silver lining down there. These can be very difficult to tell. There are fakes where you will find the silver still down around here, and a lot of times it comes down to the pixelation of the card. So one way to tell is when you have the card, go straight to this strip here, this red strip, the background of Mike Trout, and you can see there's no pixelation there, but it's an easy area to pick up on the pixelation. You see with this one, you can tell a stark difference in the pixelation of both. So down around the number, the US 175, you can see pixelation that occurs there. So those ones can be more difficult to tell, but just keep your eyes peeled. And obviously, like I said before, the quality of the seller, they'll usually be honest with you. The more feedback that they have, and the more legit they are in the sports card arena. So these carry a pretty high value. Ungraded, they're about $400, and graded at a Gem Mint 10, they go up to $1,000. So something to be aware of. Steph Curry, that's another one that is a pretty popular reprint card. If you grab this one, it can be very difficult to tell, especially I've seen some that the pixelation is not as prevalent on this card, so you got to look for some other things that stand out. So the whole bottom of the card should be silver, and you'll see that on this card over here. This one is again a print job, came straight off the printer. The other thing to look for is, aside from the top sign up there, is the Y in the name. So if you look down here, you see a difference in the Y. The real card has that little loop on the Y, and the fakes and reprints, they have a straight Y here. So that's the easiest way to tell on this card. Some of them out there on the market that are fake, they're very good coloring. I've actually found in the last couple months, I've found 3 or 4 of these listed as real, and I've actually had to message the people selling them and let them know that they're fakes. But to see the number of people bidding on the fakes, thinking that they're real, it's obvious that not a lot of people know what to look for on these cards. So that's the easiest way to tell with the Steph Curry. So just be aware of that, and again, look for the pixelation. You see on these as well, the real ones, they typically have a fairly rough border on here. It's actually pretty rare to find a perfectly intact back border here, just the way they cut these cards. And this fake one is pristine around the edges. So just some things to keep an eye out for, but ultimately, if you're not buying graded cards, you're looking for a better deal and get them graded yourself, just be aware of these. There's a number of other fakes out there. One thing I like to do is send them off to GMA, since they have such a quick turnaround time. Amidst people who have some heartburn over GMA grading fake cards. They'll write reprint on them. It doesn't really bother me that much, just because I know what to look for, but just know that there is a difference between a fake and a reprint. GMA is just going to state reprint on anything that is not the real card. So they actually will grade, cards like these that are just reprints. They'll give them a grade, but they're not really worth anything. But some people are buying them and thinking they hold value, and I guess the value is in the eye of the beholder, because people actually buy them on eBay. So, but I do like GMA, that I can send them off, and if I got a person with a 30-day turnaround policy for returns, I can send them off GMA, get them back quick, and be able to tell if they're a reprint or not. So something to consider as you're buying your cards and checking the validity of them. So hope this helps you all, and please leave any feedback you have. Thanks.